So today we're going to start looking at the quadriceps as a group, because this is interesting because the quadricep works with your knees. And your knees only have one fundamental function. That is to flex and extend. The cleaner that it can flex and extend, the less problems you'll have with the knee. The irony is that the knee is the largest joint in the body. It's huge. It is this distance. No other joint is that large. And in fact, once you strip down all the tissues and stuff, it stays about the same size. And that's why when you look at cadavers and skeletons, you're always surprised the size of their knees, because the knee is the largest joint in the body. So if the knee is responsible only for flexion and extension, and it's the largest joint in the body, what should it do better than all the other joints? It should flex and extend. But the problem becomes is when that knee starts doing other things, because it can, because there's enough surface area, there's enough other dimensional pieces to it, we start getting problems. So when we start going into what's called valgum, this is where you start getting knock-kneed, or we go into verum, we add another dimension of work. Or even worse, if we get a torque in the knee. So we start torquing the knee, one knee torques in. Now we're adding another dimension to the knee other than flexion and extension. So now it has to do internal, external rotation, and that creates something called shear. And shear is very, very hard on the body, and it damages the body greatly. And the knees only like flexion and extension. So we're going to look at the quadriceps and how it impacts how the function across the knee, and how a lot of what we think are knee problems are actually quad problems, trying to protect the knees into doing the right thing. But as we've been talking about the last few weeks, the athletic ready position is the biggest dilemma, because in the athletic ready position, we're meant to lower lower half of the body and use them as shock absorber spring-like things. And what ends up happening is we come up with some kind of variation. And there are three possible variations. One is at valgum. Two is at verum. But three is at hyperextension. You can hyperextend your legs. So it creates a situation where the knees can go under a lot of stress doing not what it's supposed to do. Obviously the hyperextension, not so bad unless you start resting on the joint face and you start messing with the meniscus or even working on the ligaments. The two worst ones are the ones that cause the knees to go this way, because this is not a motion of the knees. The knees are supposed to go this way and not this way. So in that athletic ready posture, we want that shock absorption in the lower half of the body and lengthening in the upper half of the body to keep the righting reflex active, so I can keep my head still as I do different things in the body. So what we're going to examine is what happens once we bend the knee, which should only be flexion. We should still be able to move the hip. We should still be able to move the ankles without impacting the knees. And more importantly, we should be able to do a squat where your knees stay over the top of the feet all the way through the range of motion and come back up. But you would be surprised how many times we see people squat like this, trying to get the lowering that they need by putting an aberrant motion into the knees. So unless we can go into proper flexion of the knees, we're going to send it inward into valgum, or we're going to send it into verum as we do these squats, or worse, we do multiple permutations as we go down and up. If you go into a gym and you just watch for a little while, you'll see the novice weightlifters doing squats, and you'll see their knees going all over the place. Like, it's usually one knee going in and out. They'll be stable over their standing leg, which is typically their left leg, and they'll cause their right leg to go in and out as that adapts and tries to create a pathway of strength. So we're going to work on working the quad muscles properly, lengthening the quad muscles properly, but more importantly, trying to stabilize the knees from doing excessive motion other than flexion and extension. Okay? And this is where we start. We're going to start with our foot on the block, feet are parallel. This is important because after we get our feet parallel, we're going to line up our knees over the tops of our feet. So get those knees over the tops of the feet so they're nice and straight. Suck in your tummy, and then you're going to start pumping your hips forward. Abs are engaged. First chakra, your pelvic floor, fired up. Second chakra is your lower abs. You're going to activate that. Third chakra, your upper abs, also want that on as you get your head over top of your body. Suck in that tummy, keep those knees turned out to get the proper alignment over legs, to get the proper stretch into your calf. Okay, we're gonna look at that squat now as we go into a gentle squat. Squat down, and then come back up. It's gonna be a little bit different because you're not standing on equal surfaces, but as best you can, try to get your knees to go forward and backwards. You're working your butt, you're working your quads, you are not working the lateral aspect of your knees. Abs are nice and tight, you're sucking your tummy. Okay, good. And you could see how it would easily happen that your knees would go inward to try to save you some energy or stretch or tension. We're going to try to keep alignment perfect as we switch sides. Same thing on the other side. We are looking for alignment. We're looking up for that knee to be over the top of your foot. And we're looking for your feet to be parallel. Abs are nice and tight, chest is up. You're going to pump those hips forward. Smiles are up. Suck in that tummy. First, second, third chakras are on. Head's over the top of the body. So your foot's on top of the block, your abs are nice and tight. You're pumping your hips forward. You're lengthening that calf muscle. You're watching the alignment and knees over the tops of feet. That's so very important. This could save you from so much low back pain. Okay, keep those knees turned out. Abs nice and tight, knees over the tops of your feet. You're gonna squat down and come back up. You can hold your roller. You're noticing that when your foot's on the block, your butt has to work a whole lot more, and that's ideal. We want the butt to be working, not your knees or your low back, because we're trying to work muscles, not joints. Keep breathing. And very nice. Good job. So we're still stretching, we're still watching that alignment. We're going to switch sides again as we start looking at other dimensions of what we can do in knee flexion. Okay, we're going to take the foot back behind us. You're working your quad. If you have proper alignment, you will work your quad, you will work your butt. If you have bad alignment, you're going to work your calf muscle, you're going to work your low back muscle. That's why we want knee over the top of the foot. Abs are nice and tight, you're sucking your tummy. We're going to start out with just hinging forward. There's no motion in the knee on this one. This is where work goes into your glute max, work goes into your quad. Nothing's changing in the angle of the knee, so there should be no pressure in the knee. Rear leg is straight, rear heel is off the ground, abs are nice and tight. Keep breathing. 8, 9, 10. Okay, from here, you're gonna stay forward, abs are engaged, straight spine, no pressure in your low back. Once again, we're working muscles, not joints. You're gonna bend that front leg and straighten it. Watch the alignment of your knee. Make sure it goes straight forward, straight back, and it goes in the same direction as your toes. Keep breathing. Abs are nice and tight. 7, 8, watch the alignment, 9, 10. Good, let's switch sides. So you're on this side now. Abs are nice and tight, feet are parallel. No pressure in the low back because we're working major muscle groups. You're using your quad and your glute max. Glute max and quad. Abs are nice and tight. Knees over the top of your foot. We're going to start out by hinging forward and coming back out. No pressure in your low back. Suck in that tummy. Smiles are up. Keep breathing. Eight. Abs, 9, 10. Good alignment of the knees. Stay forward, chest up. No pressure in your low back, only in your glute max and your quad. as you bend and straighten that front leg. Watch the alignment, the knee over top of the foot. It does not change. This is where we create a lot of the stability that we need. Abs are engaged. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So the rule of thumb is if you have knee problems, since knees only do one thing, they're a binary switch. They do one thing, on or off, flex or extend. It means your knee is doing the work of a weakness somewhere else in your body, or a disconnect somewhere else in your body, or inflexibility in the rest of your body. And that's why we're going to look at it right now. First things first, you're going to grab a hold of your left leg with your right hand. Abs are nice and tight. We're looking at like the quad. Bring your knees together. They'll want to come apart. We want you to keep your knees together. Your feet are parallel. You're going to suck in that tummy. Chest is up. And first thing we're going to do is we're going to squat, watching the angulation at your right knee. Make sure that knee goes forward and back. Doesn't go side to side. Keep your abs engaged. You'll feel your hip get involved. That's totally fine. Chest is up. Keep breathing. And good. Staying up. You're going to hold on to that leg. You're going to swing it forward, swing it backwards. See what it feels like to pull the leg through cleanly without going out to the side. It's straight forward, straight back. It's like you're trying to create friction on your thighs. Abs are nice and tight. Suck in that tummy. No pressure in your low back. If you feel pressure in your low back, it means you need to tighten your abs. 9 and 10. Good. Switch sides. Okay. Same thing on this side. You're grabbing a hold of that ankle. Abs are nice and tight. Your knees are together, not apart, but together. Suck in your tummy. Shoulder blades are down and back. Abs on. You're going to do a squat. Watch the alignment of this knee over the top of your foot. Suck in that tummy. Keep breathing. And very nice. Okay, now you're going to swing your legs. Your thighs should rub. Abs. And good. Go ahead and lower that leg down. I'm going to turn slightly sideways so you can see what's going on. We're going to now fixate the angle at the knee, so you're going to put a bend on it. Abs are nice and tight. We're going to continue that swing we just did. And you're going to swing your leg back and forth. Not changing angle at your knee. So it's not this. It's keeping it fixated so knee comes up, knee goes back, up, back. Now you're going to feel your hamstring working. Keep your knees closer together. Don't let them splay out. Abs. Try to keep your head motionless. This is hip motion. This is quad fixation and a hamstring fixation. And good. Let's switch sides. You're on this side. Abs are nice and tight. Knees bent. Suck in your tummy. Okay, same thing. I'm gonna turn to the side so you can see it. You're bringing your knee to your chest and then your leg back behind you. Knee to your chest, leg back behind you. You're pivoting from your hip. You're using your glute max. This is why over time people don't like running, because they forget how to do this. I'm gonna face forward. Keep your knees together. Eight, 9, and 10. Good job. Okay, so we're switching back to this side. Your knee bends. Once again, we're going to work the hamstring behind you. This time, we're going to fix the knee back behind you, and you're just going to bring your heel to your butt. Abs are nice and tight. This is the knee doing what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to flex and extend. No aberrant motion. So if your knee's doing all sorts of weird things now, it shouldn't. And good. Switch sides, same thing. Bend that knee, take it back behind you, and now heel to butt. No extra motions, no side to side motion with your knees. Still good alignment of the knee that you're standing on. This is hamstring. And good. Now we come to this side. You can take a knee above the level of your hips, your abs are engaged. You're sucking in your tummy, and you're gonna bring your knee to your chest. Toes point down on your left foot. If you want, you can have your right hand follow. Watch the alignment on your right leg. Nine, 10. Good, switch sides. You should have felt your butt working a little bit too. On the opposite side, toes are down, so you should feel your left butt working now that we're lifting our right leg. Abs are nice and tight. No rounding of your spine. This is the activation of your abs, flexion of the hip, and flexion of the knee. Abs, chest up. No pressure in your low back. Watch the alignment of your knee, and good. So we switch back to this side. Okay, so we're gonna keep the knee bent. So what the knee should be able to do is stay bent at the angle it's at, and then the hip does the work it needs to do. So you're gonna do figure eights in front of you. Abs are nice and tight. Watch the alignment on this leg. I don't want to see any extra motions on that knee either. So I don't want to see this knee doing crazy things on that right side. Knee stays still. Keep this leg bent at the same angle. Abs are working. This is a good ab workout. Good, we're gonna switch sides. Same thing on this side. You're bending your knee, you're fixating the angle at your knee, you're gonna do hip work. And that's why you have 3 of your quad muscles that don't cross the hip joint. Only one does, that's your rectus femoris. The other 3 do not, so it just works your knee and stabilizes your knee. Abs are nice and tight. Watch the motion in your left leg. There shouldn't be any. And good. Now, you're gonna take your leg out to the side. We're gonna bend it, fixate it. We're gonna do our figure eights out here now. Watch the alignment of that right knee. Keep your abs engaged. Smiles are up. And good, let's switch sides. I go in the opposite direction, but it's basically the same motion. So, leg out to your side. Knees leading. It's bent. There's nothing changing at your knee. It's all happening at both your hips, but not your left knee either. Abs are engaged. You should feel your obliques working. Suck in that tummy. 9 and 10. Good. You're going to take this leg back behind you now. It's bent. And you're going to do figure eights back behind you. Watch the alignment of this front knee. These are all motions that your hips should be able to do and your knees not do. Smiles are up. And 10. Good. Let's switch sides. You should feel your butt working. This is a good thing. Knees bent. Fixate. And now you're doing your figure eights once again. No side to side motion of your left knee. It can bend and straighten, because that's what it's meant to do. abs. You may even feel your butt, but not your low back. Your low back's not working. And good. Great job. Okay? So you're getting the gist of this. Right leg is forward, left leg is back. Abs are nice and tight, feet are parallel. We're going to look at some ballistic motion. We're going to lean forward, abs are nice and tight. You're sucking in your tummy, shoulder blades are down and back. Externally rotate this knee, but keep that rear foot parallel. Knees over top of your foot. We're going to do some of our basic hinges. We're going to lower down, touch the ground. We're going to do this slowly because this is time under tension. Keep working that right glute max. No pressure in your low back. If you feel pressure in your low back, tighten your abs, push your hips back further. You should feel this in your quad and in your butt, but no angle changes happening at your knee, so you shouldn't feel any pressure in your knee. Keep breathing, keep everything stabilized, keep balance. 8, straight spine, no pressure in the low back. 9, 10, switch sides. Set up, get that rear foot parallel. Leg is straight back behind you, that's the right leg. Turn it out slightly, turn out your left knee to get it over top of your foot. Watch the alignment. Abs are nice and tight, chest up. First, second, third chakras are on. Touch the ground. Remember to breathe. Keep going, keep working your butt, not your low back. Keep working your quad, that's what we're going after. Keep the knee fixated. 9 and 10. Switch sides. Okay, on this one, this is a plyometric movement, but if you do this correctly, there should be no pressure in any joint because you're decompressing a joint, you're not loading it. And what we're gonna use is position, we're gonna lock it in, and then we're gonna use inertia. So left arm forward, right arm back. So watch what I do. I bring my heel to my butt and then back down, that's it. Keep the weight forward. So you're using the inertia of your body to just bring your heel to your butt. Watch alignment. Abs. No pressure in your low back. Very little pressure in your knees, a lot of pressure in your quads. One more. Switch sides. So, left leg is forward, right leg is back. This leg stays straight the whole time, your right leg. Abs are nice and tight, you're sucking in your tummy. You're breathing. And once again, lean forward, so you're creating weight forward. We're using inertia and ballistic motion. So here you go. Heel to butt. Keep breathing. And you should have noticed that there's very little pressure going through your lower extremities because you're using inertia, meaning the inertial force of you being in this position, quickly getting your foot out and putting it back before your body has the opportunity to fall. Okay? Coming back and standing, the ball goes underneath the ball or your left foot. Both legs are straight. Watch that alignment. Don't let your knees go into varum or valgum. Keep both legs straight as you move from your hips and your abs. Roll out the bottom of your foot. Remember, any pain you feel in the bottom of your foot is because of something you do during the day and not because of this ball. Smiles are up. Really feel what it feels like to work all of the aspects of your feet. And remember, any pain you feel in your foot is something that's happening somewhere else. It's happening in your calf. It's happening in your butt, your hamstrings, your quads. Somewhere your abs are shutting off. It has very little to do with your feet. And that's why it's really hard to sell people on the fact that the light bulb isn't always where light is in the human body. So if you feel pain in your feet, you want to blame your foot, and it's not your foot. Okay, let's do the other side. Feet parallel, abs are nice and tight. Same thing, both legs locked out. Watch the alignment, knees over tops of your feet, your core's on. First, second, third chakras are on. Just feel. There should be no pain at all. In fact, this should feel pretty darn wonderful. Keep breathing. Maria couldn't be with us today because we're having so much troubles with Apple this morning. Ooh, anything that feels awful is because of compensation and you using some other part of your body, and it creates foot pain, not because pain is in your foot. Oh, get it out. Oh, this should feel good. Okay. Now, we're just going to stand and see how things feel. We've come a long way since we started. It should be a whole lot easier to get your feet parallel, knees over tops of feet. We're going to look at our little micro squat. We're just going to squat, make sure our knees stay over top of our feet, our butt engages. You should notice your butt's a little more sore than you thought it would be for as little as we've done. Keep your abs engaged, no pressure in your low back. Smiles are up. And good. We're going to take this, put it off to our left side, cross your left ankle over your right knee. We're going to go into a squatted figure 4. Chest is up. You're doing the invisible bar stool. Abs are nice and tight. You're sucking your tummy. Stick your butt out until you feel a nice deep stretch into that left glute max. Toe up on this foot. That takes the pressure out of your knee. Again, we shouldn't feel any pressure in your knee because it's fixated. If you do, it means your butt's excessively tight and it's trying to compensate into your knee. And that's why a lot of people don't like this stretch, because they think it compromises their knee, and it's actually their booty. Abs are nice and tight, sucking your tummy, lower down a little deeper. Pull this in a little deeper. Ah, good stretch. Okay, we are gonna switch sides. Okay, as you bend, your butt goes out, your abs engaged. Lower down, abs nice and tight, knee over top of your foot. Still going for alignment. Toe is up, and you're gonna do your invisible bar stool. Feel a lengthening on this side. Abs are nice and tight. Keep breathing. Keep smiling. Ooh, stretchy, stretchy. Then now lower your butt down even further. Suck in that tummy. You can pull that hip in deeper if you'd like. You should feel a nice stretch going on in that right glute max. No pressure in your knee at all, because we're opening up the butt, not the knee. And the knee only has 1 degree of freedom, flexion and extension. So if this is causing pain in your knee, it's trying to do another motion, which is twist or shear. And we talked about that in the beginning. It's very damaging to the knee. Okay, foot back down on the ground. We're gonna do a forward fold. Watch the alignment of your knees. Your knees are over the tops of your feet. In fact, fire up your quads. Tighten your abs, elongate your spine. And just breathe. Opening up your shoulders now too. That's part of the athletic ready position. Can you get your arms over the top of your head? I found out through my surfing experience, apparently I don't fully extend my arms over the top of my head when I'm on my belly, paddling in a windy, surfy day. Abs are nice and tight. 5 more seconds. And we're gonna come all the way up. We're gonna counter stretch. We're gonna go in the opposite direction. Squeeze your shoulder blades down and back. Close up your rib cage. Jaws relaxed. Okay, we're gonna come back to center as we head to the ground. Okay, now we're going into knee flexion. People either love this or they hate it. If you hate this, it means you don't do this enough because the knees have to go into terminal flexion, and this is as terminal as you get. Your heels are against your butt. And so the knees can't restore unless they can go into full flexion. That's why we do this. So I want you to start out by just massaging your knees, warming them up. Notice how much lack of circulation there is in the knees. The knees, for the most part, are avascular. It doesn't mean blood doesn't go by it, but into the joint itself, it works off a different system. It works off the synovial system. So it's avascular. So you'll notice it's cold. So warm up your knees physically. Use the heat of your hand to warm up your knees. Get used to being in flexion. You can even massage out your quads to see what the true reason is. It's because your quads are tight. And then now we're gonna lean back and stretch. We're gonna do this along with the sit up. You're gonna suck in your tummy and then release. Suck in your tummy, then release. Abs are engaged. Keep breathing, keep smiling. 8, 9, 10. Okay, good. Now you're gonna curl your toes under, like that. If you feel excessive pressure in your metatarsal heads, like they're sore, push your heels back. That'll give you a bigger stretch into your plantar fascia and your Achilles tendon into your calf. You're leaning back. See how my tummy's hanging out? You're gonna suck it in and release. Suck it in, release. This will deepen the stretch into your quads and your rectus femoris because your abs are engaging. Tighten your abs. 8, 9, 10. Good. We're gonna face forward again. You're gonna put your knee on top of the block. That's your left knee. Right foot goes forward. We're gonna stretch open that rectus femoris. Okay. Now we're seeing how the quad muscles, if they're tight, refer pain to your knees. So knees are not load bearing other than the pressure on your knee, and that's different than load bearing. So if you feel pain into your knees, it's because of your tight quads or discomfort. Abs are engaged. Okay, now this is normally we use it as a hamstring exercise. We're gonna use it as a quad lengthening exercise. You're gonna bring your heel to your butt. Abs are nice and tight. You're sucking in your tummy. Watch the alignment of knee over the top of your foot. You can't see it because of the angle I'm at. Grab a hold of that foot, pull it into your booty. Okay, I'm gonna come back forward again. Hold on to that foot, we're gonna stretch forward. So if you feel pain in either your knee or your low back, that means you need to tighten your abs and really work to lengthen this rectus femoris muscle. Nine and 10. Good. Let's switch sides. We're going to start out with your knee on the block once again. Abs are nice and tight. You're just going to pump forward. We're lengthening this rectus femoris. Don't let any pressure go into your low back by keeping your abs tight. It should never go into your low back. And that's why some people say when they go running they get low back pain. I can tell them that their abs are shutting off, but they won't believe me. They just think it's running. Okay, I'm going to come to the side so you can see. We're going to go into this position. You're bringing your heel to your butt. This is typically for working the hamstring, but we're using it to lengthen our quad muscle. Nine, 10. Then grab a hold of that foot, pull your heel into your butt. I'm going to come back forward. Then we're gonna pump our hips forward. Ooh, no pressure in your low back, no pressure in your knee. If you feel it there, tighten your abs, lengthen your rectus femoris and the rest of your quad muscles. Nine, 10, good. We're gonna come back into kneeling to see how kneeling feels. You should have a whole lot less pressure in your knees. You should feel a whole lot better 2B inflection of the knees. Let me get a block. Okay. We're going to do complement motion. We're going to work the feet as well as the knees. You're going to curl your toes under, back behind you. And we're going to go from this position to a straight leg position, back down. Make sure those knees only go forward and backwards. Keep breathing. See if you can push your hips back further each time. Suck in that tummy, no pressure into joints. We're working muscles. Nine. 10, very good. Okay, we're gonna work our butt with fixated knee. So we're gonna go into what looks like pigeon. You're gonna take your left leg forward, right leg back. We're gonna stretch in the pigeon first with the straight spine. Abs are nice and tight. Here's where I want you to tighten your abs a lot. Okay, stretch deeper. Chest is up, smiles are up. Okay, take those arms back behind you now. Now we work the butt without our knee, no pressure in your knee, because we fixated the knee, and we're gonna hinge forward and come back up. Suck in your tummy, no air bagging your belly against your tummy. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good, stretch. Deepen it, chest up. You're gonna bend that rear leg. Rock from side to side. I don't know if you can see my rear legs bent. Okay, we're gonna switch sides. Oh, that feels good. Okay, switch sides. Your left leg goes back behind you, your right leg's out in front of you. Chest is up. We're gonna stretch deep into it, abs are nice and tight. Stretch, lengthen. Notice if one butt cheek was tighter than the other. The one that's tighter is the one that's working harder. Okay, hands go back behind you, abs engaged. No pressure in your low back. We're working muscles, not joints. So you shouldn't feel your knee. If you do, tighten your quad, tighten your butt, tighten your abs. Feel your low back, tighten your abs. 6, 7, 8, abs. 9, 10, good. Stretch into it deeper. Ooh, rock from side to side. Bend that rear leg. Smiles are up. Okay, we're gonna come forward as we stretch out the butt. Who tends to be the culprit problem? You're gonna keep this leg bent in front of you. You can have your blocks back behind you, especially if you're tighter. You're gonna take your left leg over top of your right foot, or shin, so you're shin to shin. This is called fire logging yoga. You're gonna lift yourself up with your blocks, or if you have arms long enough, you can just use the ground. My arms are short in terms of my torso. We're stretching open the glute medius muscles out here on the sides. Suck in that tummy. Again, no pressure in your knees. So a lot of times what we think of knee problems are clearly hip problems because the hips can't open up. So ask the knee to do something extra. The knees only do one thing. They flex and extend. If you can remember that one thing, you can take care of your knees the rest of your life. And you can understand if you're experiencing knee pain, something weird is not happening in your hip or your ankle. It's always above and below. And it could be way above. It could be your neck, it could be your low back, it could be even your shoulder. Abs are nice and tight. long spine. And good. Go ahead and take your legs out in front of you. You're going to jog. And then we're going to bend our left leg, stack our right leg on top. Chest goes up, abs are nice and tight. You're sucking your tummy, long spine. Abs tight, no pressure in your low back. If you feel pressure in your low back, it's the wrong spot. It should be out here in your glute medius muscles. Sucking that tummy. You can wiggle, get your minds off of things. Jaws relaxed, neck's relaxed, abs are engaged, pelvic floor is on. Just a little longer. You should feel a nice stretch in that sides. This often causes false knee pain and low back pain because these muscles get tight. Okay? Take your legs out in front of you. We're gonna jog again. Jog, 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 jog. You guys are doing awesome. We're gonna skip pelvic floor work today because we've kind of done it without knowing it, but you're gonna take this ball, put it in the small of your back. Hands go back behind you. We're gonna start out with our legs straight. Okay, I want you to fire up your quads because quads and abs work well together. When they turn off, you get low back pain. So quads on, abs on. We're gonna do sit-ups. You're gonna suck in your tummy, try to pop the ball. That means you're rounding your spine. Suck in that tummy, release, suck it in, release. Change the shape of your abdomen, or it's never gonna change shape. Keep breathing. Okay, good. Now, arms go out in front of you. You're gonna do the same thing. You're gonna suck in your tummy, suck in your tummy, suck in your tummy. Keep your quads on. Now we're gonna work on your surfing, or at least you're paddling in your surfing. You're gonna go for a swim over the top of your head. Abs are nice and tight. Keep your abs engaged. This works your obliques, works your rectus abdominis. Quads stay on. And rest. Smiles are up. Bend your legs. Shoulder blades are down and back. Your feet are flat on the ground. Abs nice and tight. We're doing sit-ups again. Tighten your pelvic floor. Close up your rib cage. Suck it chakra. Try to pop that ball by crushing it with your spine and bringing your abs closer to your spine. It's all working together to get you to do a proper sit-up. Smiles are up. Okay, arms up. We're gonna do our sit-ups. We're gonna do the same thing, suck in your tummy. We're doing a very basic sit-up today. And then here we go, paddle. Over the top of your head. Feel what it feels like to be long. Apparently I'm a lazy paddler. Use your obliques, use your rectus abdominis. All the things that make your waist look nice. Transverse abdominis. And rest. Now, you're gonna arch over the top of the ball. Ball's in the small of your back. And you're leaning back. You're gonna rock side to side. If you feel pressure in your low back or your hips, that means you accidentally used your psoas muscle. We don't want you to use your psoas muscles. We want you to use your abdominal muscles instead. Keep breathing. Try to get it to loosen up right here in front of your hips. Oh, you could go side to side. You could hang out on one side longer than the other. Or you could do both. Okay, bending your knees. This ball is going to roll down to your sacrum now. Legs go up in the air. We're just going to bend and straighten our legs. Because this is non-weight bearing on your knees, and it's working the one motion that your knees should do well. So if you feel pain or discomfort, figure out what muscles you have to turn on. And maybe your quads, and maybe your hamstrings, maybe your calves. You have to turn something on, even your abs, in order to stabilize the knees so there's no pressure or discomfort in the knees. Okay, now you're gonna alternate. You're going for a walk. Again, feel the stabilizing muscles that need to happen in your quads, your hamstring, or your calves to protect the knee in this very simple motion of flexion and extension. And we're examining it slowly. Figure out what you need to tighten your abs to stabilize your pelvis so there's not aberrant motion. We're going to take it up to a little jog. Same thing. Now a trot. Now sprint. Go as fast as you can. See what falls apart. See if you can put it back together. Abs are nice and tight. You're sucking in your tummy. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Legs will go straight against the ground. Rock from side to side. See if you accidentally put it into your hip flexors again or your low back. Should have been in your abs. You should feel stretching in your rectus abdominis. Oh, this feels so good. Okay, bend your knees, lift your butt up. See what the ground feels like underneath you. Breathing. We're gonna come up onto your roller now. Butt is at one end, head is at the other end. Just feel what it feels like to have your feet parallel, knees over tops of your feet, hips in flexion and relax, abs engaged. That's first chakra, your pelvic floor. Second chakra, your lower abs. Third chakra, your upper abs. You're drawing your shoulder blades down and back, your head's over the top of your body. Just breathe. I'm gonna change out the music. You guys stay in that position you're in. It's been one crazy morning starting out, but it doesn't have to be that way, and most certainly it doesn't have to stay that way. Let me see if I can find it. Feel what it feels like to be on this roller. Feel what it feels like to breathe. You're in athletic ready posture. And like I said, athletic ready posture gets you closer to your center. And in your center, now everyday activities like washing the dishes, going to the gym, walking into the store, give you the opportunity to come into meditation. So breathe. We started this morning with a crazy situation with Apple. It doesn't have to be that way all day long. It doesn't have to be the subject all day long. It can be done when it's done. And that's what the advantage of being in your center is. You don't have to carry the compensation of something else in your body or on your body or in your body. You guys stay on top of your roller. I'm going to come off to bring you home. Just continue to feel that lengthening of your spine. Feel what it feels like to have your head over the top of your pelvic floor. Feel what it feels like to bellow that breath in and out of your belly. To have elongation of your spine and softening of your legs with your feet parallel, knees over tops of your feet. Meditation is a place that we go to if we have the courage to listen versus tell. Feel what it feels like to listen for the divine, for inspiration, for joy, expansion, and love. And on behalf of Maria and me, we would like to say thank you for being here. Thank you for doing the amazing job that you do. Thanks for sharing your time and being willing to do all the crazy things we ask of you. Thank you for your support. We appreciate you so very much. Thank you and namaste.